Here's Cairo Santos now ready to get this one started. And off we go from Seattle. And he'll take it up past the 25 to the 26-yard line. They'll come out throwing here to start the drive. Under a heavy rush, and down he goes. Multiple players combined for their team's first sack of the game.
Okay, partner, a couple points of interest right here, all right? Offensively, we see that they came out throwing the football, but maybe more importantly, the blitz that came defensively, they got right after him.
And you were telling me pregame before we came on air, you think this is something we could see a lot.
Yeah, there's no doubt about it because this is a unit that wants to play the game on their terms.
Got to hope that's not a sign of things to come as they face an early second and long. They'll set up to throw. He completes this to Walker. So 5 yards here, 5 on the play. And that'll bring up a 3rd and 11 situation. Backed up here, tough spot, needing 11 yards to pick up the first. Out of the gun now on 3rd down. And he slides and covers up at the end as he's going to be able to pick up decent yardage. 5 yards, and that means they come up short as they're going to have to punt here on the opening drive.
Nice call on defense, rolling out the nickel package for that big 3rd down play, and they did an excellent job locking down coverage and forcing him to try and run for it, and he doesn't get there, which brings up a big 4th down call.
The Seahawks will call on Michael Dixon on 4th down to punt this one away. Taken in at the 22. So a good punt, but a solid 12-yard return. And it will be 1st and 10 as they take over. From the 34 now, here's 1st and 10. First carry for DeAndre Swift. And not a whole lot of room to operate there on the 1st down run. He gets maybe 3.
Look, all any running back wants is a little bit of room, a little bit of space in order to maneuver. But he also understands how difficult it is for his offensive line up front. So if they give him any space, he realizes his job to make more out of it than what they give him. Picks up 3 on that carry.
Here's Williams. A short throw there. That's to Smythe, the tight end. And a 5-yard gain gets him to the 42. That's a staple of this offense. Drag route to the tight end.
Yeah, he's unable to use his size to break off much more yardage after the catch, but still an effective gain nonetheless.
They'll go play action here with Williams. Rolling to his left. And he can't find anywhere to go with it, and he goes down. It'll go as a sack, a loss of 3, and in turn, it takes us to a 4th down.
Tremendous read and reaction by the defensive tackle, and frankly, partner, it's not that often the DTs have that type of easy access back to the quarterback. Never bought the play-action fade.
Here comes the Bears punter now, as he's on to punt for the first time tonight. And this returnable for Sims. 43 yards on the punt, 7-yard return, and they will take over 1st and 10. First carry here for Kenneth Walker III. And he put up a good fight, but he's going to be taken down behind the line of scrimmage.
Boy, you go 3 and out on your first drive, and that's not the way you want to start this drive either. Doesn't seem like they're really into it just yet.
No, first 4 plays, you don't want to call it a disaster, but not looking very sharp. First play of the drive goes the wrong way. Here's 2nd and 12. He'll look to throw. Over the middle, finding Smith and Jigba. And he'll get this up to the 34-yard line. His first catch, good for 14 there and a first down.
And this was a nice example of an offensive coordinator scheming his guy open. Just a little underneath route, just trying to free up some space, and it worked awfully well. got him not just space, but plenty of room to run after the catch to pick up really nice yardage.
Back to throw now on first down. Going right back to Smith and Jigba. And the result here, a pickup of 8. Leaves them with 2 to go on second down.
That's tough to play zone defense when they can just curl up right there in front of you.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, we talk about finding the soft spot. Defensively, how do you make sure they don't find the soft spot like they did there?
Tough to do, because what they normally will do is run routes that'll pull you out of that spot they want to get into. That's what we call not taking the cheese, right? Don't go for the mousetrap. But it's hard to do because when you see a guy cutting that in that direction, you tend to go towards him.
It's a big play there for Seattle. 41 yards. Well, every quarterback, especially a rookie quarterback, loves to have plays like that from a guy running the ball.
Takes a lot of pressure off the youngster, doesn't it? He doesn't have to throw the ball in bad situations. Just turns around, hands it to his big horse, and we've seen rookie quarterbacks ride great runners right into the playoffs.
It'll go down as a gain of 6, and it's second down. Now that tight end position, it just seems to continue to evolve every year in the NFL.
Yeah, you're getting really terrific athletes. A lot of them maybe were wide receivers at one point that continue to give you speed, great hands, and big bodies, which make them excellent targets for quarterbacks.
And he will maneuver his way down to about the 7. Call it a gain of 3, but not enough to move the sticks. It'll be third and about a foot or 2. Pretty good job defensively. Thought he was going to get it, but they knew where that marker was, and they stopped him just short of it.
What it does is emphasize that strategic football and situational football is not just played on the offensive side, is it? Defense understanding, as you noted, where the first down marker was and making sure they didn't get there.
Now a quick throw there, but it's going to be incomplete. Brings up fourth down. Solid coverage by the Bears D.
Coverage was awfully tight there on third down. They actually closed off all the passing lanes, forcing the incompletion and bringing up fourth down.
The offense here not budging. They're going to fight for it on 4th and inches. And this is going to be nowhere close. Needed some inches and ended up losing yardage. They'll get neither the touchdown nor the first down. And the Bears will get the football back. And a design QB run in that spot, maybe trying to catch the defense off guard a bit. It didn't work, though.
Again, we're seeing that college influence come into the NFL. Quarterback run game on 4th down. We didn't see that very much in the previous years in the NFL.
No, seeing it more, saw it there, did not work out. Turnover on downs. That's going to be knocked away and incomplete.
Offenses all over continue to be aggressive, and most people never turn down a shot at a deep ball. But oftentimes, it attracts a little bit of extra attention, and it did on that play, and that one got knocked away.
An incomplete pass on first down. That leads to a 2nd and 10. To throw, Williams. It's a short one here, complete to the tight end. And brought down, but not before reaching the 25. First time they've hooked up here. Good for 17 and a first down.
I like how they worked the tight end on a nice little under route there. And if you're going to give him that much space, he's not going to catch the football. He's going to run away from you a little bit, and that's exactly what he just did there, picking up extra yardage.
Play action. Now Williams. And it's knocked away and incomplete.
That could have been a huge play, but give the defender credit. Stayed calm, stayed collected, and kept himself in a position to make a play on the ball without a penalty.
An incomplete pass leads to 2nd and 10 from the 25. They will run straight ahead with Swift. And not a whole lot there, maybe a yard to the 27. But not much on that run, Charles.
No, that's exactly the way to execute a run blitz there. They guessed correctly that they would move the ball on the ground, honed in on it, and stopped them. Mark that down for a win in the defense's column.
Here's 3rd and 9. From the gun, here's Williams. Being chased out left. He opted to go with a scramble, gets 2 yards, and now it's 4th.
Well, there were a couple of extra defensive backs in the game, so he really had nowhere to go with the football despite his search for an open receiver. So he has to take off and run for it, but he comes up well short of the line to gain.
Here comes the Bears punter now, as he'll kick it away for the second time. 44 on his first punt, and this is a good kick as well. On the return is Sims. Officially, that'll go as a 52-yard punt. Not too shabby. Seattle now ready to march onto the field. They've got some stuff to build on from that last drive because they moved the football, CD, and then they tried to go for it on 4th down, didn't convert, probably left a bitter taste in their mouths.
I would say so, and I think that they go out in this series determined for that not to happen again. In fact, they don't even want to get to a 4th down opportunity. They just want to make sure they get it done within the parameters that they've set for themselves. Run their offense, get it into the end zone. Yeah, I think a little bit of determination and a dash of anger. And, partner, to me, that one was all about timing. If he's there too early, it's going to be a pass interference call. If he's too late, it's a completed pass. He was Johnny on the spot on that one.
He'll try again with the arm here on 2nd down. And Walker has it. 5 yards. Now it's 3rd and 5.
And we see another pitch and catch there to the running back. This position just continues to evolve. They become just as critical to the passing attack as a lot of receivers, tight ends, because their ability to make people miss in the open field can really generate big plays for an offense.
They're going to look to throw. And he'll go down. The Bears get there for the sack. He could not get away that time, and it'll be a loss of 11 on 3rd down. We had a pretty good idea that they were going to pressure this young quarterback, and that's now 2 sacks here in the first quarter.
And, yeah, this is a secret to exactly nobody, because if you're a rookie quarterback, you know you're going to see pressure. Defenses want to see how you're going to handle it, or if it forces you into making bad decisions. That's their goal.
On 4th down, ready to punt, Michael Dixon. His first punt, 48 yards. This one looks equally as good. That's pulled in at the 32. Call that 49 yards on the punt. They do get 7 back on the return. And the Bears take over. The Chicago offense set to get started. Still in the first half, but this offense has struggled. Haven't really been able to get anything going, not only in the points category, but in the yards category. We'll see if they can do better here on this drive. Quick hitter here. It's complete. And they'll get him down after a pickup of 8. 2nd and 2. Well, that's always a good place to throw it just because he's one of the biggest targets not only on this team, but in the National Football League.
And you and I both know the quarterbacks love these large-bodied tight ends, and why not? Nowadays, they're really wide receivers who are just taller and have a little bit more weight. These guys catch the football, make big plays downfield. In the old days, we wanted them to block. Now coaches want them to catch the football first.
A gain of 5, good enough for the first down.
Well, we always talk about good down and distance, allowing offenses to expand their playbook. Well, 2nd and 2, that means your playbook's wide open. You can run just about anything. But a lot of times, the play caller, he just looks down at his sheet, sees the short yardage runs, and goes to one of those.
First down, and they go with Swift again. And he is going to lose yardage here. And tip your cap to DeMarcus Lawrence. Nice play defensively. They blitzed there, but to be honest, I don't know if it would have mattered had they blitzed or not. That run play was going nowhere.
Yeah, it's really, really difficult at times to figure out where that defense is coming from. But if you're committed to running the football, you can get people up on those linebackers, right? Those guards don't have to block anyone at the line of scrimmage. They get up to the 2nd level and create some space.
And that'll wind up moving the chains again as the tackle's going to be made at the Seahawks 36. 16 yards is the pickup there and a first down for Chicago.
Nice job there of utilizing his big target. And he didn't overthink it. Understands the catch radius. Understands that he knows how to use his body to keep defenders away from the ball. And puts it right out there for the nice pickup.
Here's a handoff to Swift. And he'll be taken down here as it will take us to the end of the first quarter. We're scoreless after one. The Bears with the football. We get set to begin quarter number 2. Second down and 6 now. As they've got it as we resume action. Throwing is Williams. It's a short one here, complete to his tight end. And he'll go down at the 26, following a gain of 6.
One thing you're hoping for when you run drag routes, you're able to hit a receiver in stride, and he can pick up a lot of yardage after the catch. But in this situation, the defense was effective, able to stop him before he could get a good head of steam going.
On third down, here comes Swift. And Swift is not going to get there as they stop him short of the yellow line. Call it no gain that time, and they're going to be left looking up at a 4th and 1. Remember, that was less than a yard. That was not a full yard. That defense, they were having none of it.
Yeah, the surge the offensive line was seeking actually occurred on the other side of the ball. They reestablished the line of scrimmage and stuffed them.
Here we go on 4th down. And, boy, this is going to be close. That mark looks a little short, and he didn't get there. The Bears tried it on 4th down, unable to convert. And the Seahawks are going to take over the football. And defensively, they were ready for that, a full-on blitz on 4th down, and they stop them short of the marker.
Oh, and someone's got to feel really good about that, and that's the defensive coordinator. He dialed up a great run blitz defense, and they hit it just right. Stack that thing up. They're going to feel awesome going to the bench after that big play.
They're coming out with a jumbo package to start the drive. They'll try and start this drive in the air. This goes to the tight end, Eric Saubert. And this will leave him a yard short. Nice pickup of 9 yards on 1st down. And they'll employ the jumbo set now on 2nd and 1. Up the middle they run. It's Walker. And he'll be brought down shy of the 40 at the 38-yard line. They'll get 3 as the drive continues. It's a 1st down.
2nd and 1, and people want to run the football. This is where every back in the league is supposed to do exactly what we just saw there. Pick up the 1st down.
So here's a 1st and 10 at the 38. The play-action fake. They'll look to throw. And that'll be incomplete.
I tell you, Brandon, this defense is playing with some confidence. Haven't allowed a point yet. Flying to the football. I'm telling you, it's almost 11 to the ball on every snap. Another nice job there to force an incompletion.
So now 2nd and 10 after the incompletion on 1st down. Off the play fake, he'll look to throw. Finding Smith and Jigba downfield. And they will finally catch him, but not before he reaches the 8-yard line. It's a big play there for Seattle. 54 yards.
Despite writing it down on my notes, I never give enough credit to the offensive line, and we have to here. The protection, that's what made this play a success. Quarterback had to wait for his crossing route to develop, and that takes a little bit of extra time. Excellent job by the big fellas up front.
He'll drop to throw. This is caught. A gain of 7 that time. 2nd and goal. Out of the gun, Walker with it. And he will take this one in for the Seattle touchdown. It's a 1-yard touchdown run. And the Seahawks post the first points of the ballgame as they take the lead here in this 2nd quarter. So, partner, it was a passing game that drove them down the field, but when they get close, they trust that man in the backfield, and he took them home.
And they trust their offensive line as well, because so many of these units, they specialize in either pass protection or run blocking. This group shows its versatility and gets both done on this drive.
So the drive there took 6 plays, and it was Kenneth Walker finishing things off with a touchdown run. And after the touchdown, here's Myers to boot it away. Well, now how about this return? And able to break this out all the way to the 38-yard line. Great return. And now Chicago getting ready to go as they take the field. And a drive that stalled out last time. Went for it on 4th. Didn't get it. How does that translate here? I would imagine momentum's with the defense.
Definitely with the defense, because anytime anyone goes for it on 4th down, that's telling you as a defense that you can't stop us. We don't think that you can. And when you actually do, that may put a little dent in the confidence of the offense the next time they hit the field.
Yeah, we'll see if they can bring that pride, the offense, this go-around. Williams will get this out wide to Odunze. That'll go for a gain of 7, and that'll bring up 2nd down. Now an option play, and he'll keep it. And he'll get this one down near the 20-yard line, just shy of the 20. An excellent run of 22 yards on the keeper and also a 1st down. Well, I tell you, there is no antidote for speed, even at the quarterback position, as he keeps it himself and turns it into good yardage.
And it still takes time for a defender to react, even as quarterbacks carry the ball more and more in today's NFL. They're still a little bit in disbelief and realize, oh my goodness, he's running with the ball. He may be 8, 10, 12 yards downfield at that point.
And he edges forward, but only gets a pair of yards out of it, and it's 2nd down. From the 20, here's a 2nd and 8. To the air, Williams. And this one too low. You got a young quarterback, maybe that's just an example of a growing pain for him.
I think you're right about that, because when the game starts to move fast and it moves quickly on him, a lot of times they fall back on what they know best, their arm. He's slinging it on this one. Had a wide open target, but didn't have the proper footwork to increase his accuracy.
To throw, it's Williams. And this time he's got the hook up. It's complete. And able to get this down inside the 15, either the 13 or 14 before he's out of bounds.
I know the halftime's approaching, but I don't think he's going to want to take a break. That's his 5th catch.
Yeah, they've really been targeting the tight end. And no signs of the field goal unit. They're going for it on 4th down. Looking to throw is Williams. Work in the middle of the field, and he's got a man complete. And the Bears are going to have 1st and goal as they try to finish off this drive with 6 points.
It's all pretty simple sometimes, isn't it? Go where the defenders are not, and he does exactly that. Makes a nice catch to move the chains. Defense, got to find a better way of accounting for the shorter routes that are being run against them.
Swift diving for the end zone, and he is in. Touchdown. And Charles, he's able to dive in there in a short yardage situation.
Just find a place to get to the end zone. Didn't matter where it was, but once he did, used his nose for the end zone and dove in.
Cairo Santos on to try the extra point. It's up and good, and we're tied at 7 here in quarter number 2. So that drive goes 8 plays, and it ends with a 1-yard touchdown run. So all even at 7 now as they kick it away. And he'll be stopped up at the 25. The Seattle now ready to march onto the field. A long drive last time out for this offense, Charles. If you remember, they started basically in the shadows of their own end zone, marched it down the field, and a lot of that was through the passing game.
And, partner, as a former defensive back, I'm having almost a physical reaction watching what's happening right now. But let's give credit where it's due because they've done an excellent job moving the ball through the air. Secondary getting picked apart pass by pass. Obviously, they need to make some adjustments there on the back end.
Yeah, because offensively, we know that they're not going to be shy about throwing that football. Sticking with Walker on 2nd down. And they get him down, but not before he takes it across the 40-yard line. 61 yards now on the ground on just 7 carries. We've seen him break off a big run already in this game, and for a second, that one looked like it might be another.
Yeah, I think that any defense would say, look, we can't let him get to the second level because sometimes he'll break off the big run on his own, but oftentimes you get additional blocking at the second level, which gets you deeper into the secondary.
And he's going to take this ahead for right around 3 yards, but no more than that. 2nd down.
Well, from an offensive perspective, that was a tough run because he only picked up 3 yards. But let's flip it over to the defensive side. They now have the advantage. 3 3-yard gains. That means they're punting the ball likely on 4th down. That's what you're looking for when you're playing defense.
They run again with Walker. And he'll be brought down at the 48-yard line. 9 yards to pick up there, and it's a 1st down.
Partner, there are strong running plays, and then there are plays where you simply outclass the defense, and we saw the latter there. They ran straight up the heart of that front for an excellent gain and 1st down. Simply put, you've got to put up more of a fight defending the middle. Otherwise, this is going to be a long game.
From the gun, it's Walker. And not a whole lot of room to operate there on the 1st down run. He gets maybe 3.
This drive is pretty clear. Almost feels like old school fundamentals, doesn't it? Want to impose their will on the defense. What's that, 5 straight runs?
Yeah, 5 straight carries to start this drive. And like you said, the way it's working, they may just stick with it. From the 44-yard line, here's 2nd down at 7. Now they'll switch it up here and look to throw. And that will be incomplete. Tried to dial up the long one way out there, but it'll be 3rd down.
Early on, the running game's been working well, and the offensive line has been pleased by that. The thought process there, catch those safeties creeping up, trying to help against the running game. They tried to hit them over the top, unsuccessfully.
On 3rd down, he'll drop to throw. Smith and Jigba with the grab. And he is going to have a Seahawks 1st down as they're able to get the 3rd down conversion.
As an unbiased observer, I think it would have been interesting to see what they would have done if they hadn't gotten the 1st down there. But since they did, I guess the point is moot.
Yeah, they were right there in that middle ground, field goal range, punt, go for it. But as you said, they picked it up. Now to the ground, here's Walker. And a very determined run there as he'll take this all the way down to the 27. Good effort. 10 yards and a Seattle 1st down. He finds his way into the secondary again on this drive. They might want to try getting him down a little closer to the line of scrimmage.
Yeah, what do they call that? 3rd level run. 1st level being the D-line and linebacker 2nd level in the secondary, the 3rd. When you block it up well and you make the secondary do all the tackling, that will wear on a defense.
And he's got it. Caught in the end zone for the Seahawk touchdown. Noah Fant. 27 yards. And the Seahawks have taken the lead. Well, partner, I mean, if anybody was still questioning whether or not he had an NFL caliber arm, I think you can toss that right out the window. That was a heck of a throw right there.
I would agree totally. Question it no more. This rookie, big time throw right there. Great poise, stepped up, trusted he could lay it in there perfectly. And he knew that his guy was going to make the catch on the other end. Nice collaboration.
Extra point up and through by Myers. And that makes the score 14-7. So a nice drive put together there. They go 75 yards in 9 plays. And it's Noah Fant who caps things off with the touchdown. And after the touchdown, here's Myers to boot it away. And out a little across the 25 to the 27. At the line, prepping for their next drive, the Bears offense. After that last score we just saw, now 14-7, so a chance to march down the field here, try to tie this football game. And they work this well upfield across the 45. Great way to start the drive. 20 big ones and a first down.
Any questions of how they'd approach this drive were answered right there. They come out throwing, and they get a nice pickup here toward the end of the first half.
A big hitter to start the drive has him up near midfield here for 1st and 10. And this turns into a nice gain with a slide at the end. A nice job there on the escape and scramble. A first down, a 16-yard gain.
They asked him to take charge and get them to a spot where they could at least attempt to kick before the half, and he does just that. Didn't trust what he saw downfield, so he took it upon himself to get them into field goal range using his legs. That's coming through with a play they needed in a big spot.
Oh, he had a man running free, but he overshot him, and it's incomplete.
Looked like they were set up defensively in a zone coverage, but somehow they found a seam because that receiver all alone. By rights, that should have been a touchdown, but somehow this ball's overthrown.
And 2nd and 10, he'll look to throw again. Now the Bears going to call the first of their timeouts as they get the stoppage with just under 50 seconds remaining in half number 1. So 3rd down, they need to get to the 28 for a first. Operating from the gun, Williams. And that nearly intercepted. Boy, for a guy known for his hands defensively, that's a ball he probably thinks he should have come up with. And instead, it's 4th down.
How about this defense? They came up with a couple of big plays in this sequence, and none better than the one right there, forcing the incompletion and bringing up 4th down.
Santos' kick is up and through, and they'll cut the lead back down to 4 now at 14-10. Well, in a close game like this, obviously you want the touchdown, but certainly they will take the 3.
And they'll be okay with that, but let's throw a little credit to the defense as well. I'm just glad this doesn't come down to a debate, right? Which side won, partner? Because the defense, hey, we didn't give up a touchdown. The offense, hey, we put 3 on the board. Either way you look at it, I think both sides gained something out of that drive.
And he won't quite make it to the 25. The home team's offense and Kenneth Walker set to take over once more. And as a play caller, when you've got a guy who's running like this, you lean on him and your offensive line. He's had big hole after big hole to run through in this first half. They'll come out throwing here to start the drive. On the throw, led him too much that time. It's incomplete. He shook his head right when he released that throw. He knew it was going to be a little off target.
Yeah, the excitement got him on that one. Wasn't able to control the fact the receiver was open, and it would have been an easy throw.
Now a 2nd and 10. Not wanting to take a chance this time, they'll keep it on the ground. And he takes us beyond the 35 before going out of bounds. An even 100 yards rushing on 12 carries for him now.
This guy's well on his way now to a big game on the ground. It's another good run there. Puts him over the century mark in yardage, and we're still in the 2nd quarter.
So here's a 1st and 10 at the 38. He'll look to throw. Setting up the screen here. This is Walker. And they bring him to the ground just shy of midfield. Now the Seahawks going to use the first of their timeouts as the clock will stop with 21 seconds to go here in the first half. Now on first down, he'll drop to throw it. And that nearly a turnover, but it's incomplete. Oh, fortunate to retain possession there, and it's second down.
Offense was moving it a little bit, had them back on their heels, but they earned a brief pause by forcing the incompletion. That gives them a quick chance to regroup and try and mount a stand before they're backed up even further.
Back to throw now on 2nd and 10. They'll try and set up the screen. It's complete. Now the Seahawks call the second of their 3 timeouts. So that means they're down to 1 remaining here as we head toward halftime. Third and 12. They'll look to throw again. Pressure, and he's taken down. A Bear sack. And they're going to take a timeout defensively. So with 4th down coming up, they go ahead and burn it and say we'll see what happens. Here's Michael Dixon now to punt. He's been a busy man here in this first half as he gets it away. And this will be taken at the 13. A big kick that time, 52 yards. And there'll be time for maybe one final play before halftime. The final second ticks by, and that's going to do it for the first half of play. So we are at halftime here in downtown Seattle with the Seahawks out in front. As we send you cross-country to Orlando, Jonathan Coachman is there and has our EA Sports halftime report.
It was a strong first half for the former Spartan, Kenneth Walker. He's already over 100 yards rushing for the game and has a touchdown run as well.
Okay, Coach, yeah, adjustments likely going to play a big role in this third quarter in what's been a tight contest so far. And able to get this across the 20, but not much further as he's dropped it to 23-yard line. The visitors' offense and their running back getting ready to go back to work. And he's had his fair share of troubles in this one, unfortunately. This defensive front has wreaked havoc throughout the contest, and he hasn't been able to create enough space to make something positive happen to this point. The Bears offense ready to go for their next drive. And they're on the short end of the scoreboard here. Charles, what adjustments, if any, do you think they need to make for the second half?
Well, paraphrasing the gold medal hockey winning coach Herb Brooks, I just say you continue to play your game. Throw the ball. They had success doing it in the first half, so make sure you keep getting the ball to your playmakers, a little bit more to the perimeter perhaps, but above all, play your game.
Ball at the 26, 2nd and 7. They'll stay on the ground with Swift. Give him 4 on the carry, and it'll make this a 3rd and about 2.
When you find that kind of yardage, you couldn't be more confident as a ball carrier. And guess what? You're going to go back and tell your offensive coordinator, I'd like to keep carrying it, thank you.
A couple extra tight ends in the formation here as they line up 3rd and 2. They'll try and run here with Swift. And he's going to have the first down at about the 38. 40 yards rushing for him now as he's carried it 13 times.
There are a lot of different formulas to winning football, but one constant over the years, winning on 3rd down. That pickup there was big because they had struggled throughout this one.
So here's a 1st and 10 at the 38. Swift going to try up the middle, and he'll take this ahead for about 4. 2nd down coming up.
The defense thought they had that play covered, but it still got driven backward by those blockers. Those types of plays are a key part of any team's offensive game plan. It all starts up front in the trenches.
2nd and 6. They'll go play action here with Williams. Throwing middle, and it's complete. That'll put him at 66 receiving yards now for the game, and he's got a first down.
That was a route run not just with dexterity, but with intelligence. Found the hole in the zone, made sure the quarterback saw him, and was able to make the sure catch and flip the down marker back to 1.
So from Seahawk territory now, it's 1st and 10 at the 48-yard line. And that'll be a free 5 yards for the offense.
Just like a tennis match, that's just an unforced error. Stay alert, don't jump early, and give them free yardage.
They will come up on a 1st and 5 following the encroachment penalty. Here's Williams. Room to maneuver at the 35. And all the way down to the 33-yard line. He was held without a catch in the first half, but he's got one here, and he also picks up a first down.
And it's pretty evident that this passing game has been frustrated so far. They haven't really moved the ball the way we might have expected, but this is a good pickup here for the first down.
They run the option here on 1st and 10. And he is met at the line of scrimmage, and he goes down right there. No gain there as he kept it himself at 2nd down. Well, for that being an option play, there really weren't too many options available for him, were there?
No, there weren't, and at least he was able to get back to the line of scrimmage, so they didn't lose anything, but you're exactly right. Nowhere to go.
Got a man, and he hits him in stride. They do get a couple, but they'll be left staring at a 3rd and 8 coming up. Back to throw. Williams. He's got his target. That's complete. And that'll wind up moving the chains again as the tackle's going to be made at the Seahawks 16. Just his 2nd catch of the game so far. This one moves the chains.
How about a nod to the sequence of plays they're putting together here? This has been death by 1,000 paper cuts on this drive. But this is one of their best plays yet, and they're able to move it down into the red zone.
So the ball down to the 16 here for 1st and 10. Back to the running game with Swift. 2 yards the loss, 2nd and 12.
The short field shrinks even more with the type of bodies they brought in on that play. Those extra tight ends, they weren't able to secure their blocks, and that one ended up going backwards.
A rare misstep on that last play because the drive has been strong, but now it's 2nd and 12. Going quickly out wide to Moore. And able to get this down inside the 15 to either the 13 or 14 before he's out of bounds. The result, only 4 yards there on the play. And 3rd and 8 now. They'll be in search of 8 yards here as they hope to convert the first down. From the shotgun, a throw for Williams. And he takes this one in for a Bears touchdown. Rome Odunze, a 14-yard touchdown. And the Bears have taken the lead as they go right down the field and score on the opening drive of the second half.
Man, he just ran a terrific route. Extremely hard to defend when it's run that precisely and the ball's delivered that accurately.
Santos now to add the PAT. It's good, and they'll take a 17-14 lead. So that drive, 12 plays in length, and the end result is a Bears touchdown. Now after the touchdown, here's Santos to kick this one away. And a decent return out to the 27-yard line. The home team's offense and their running back getting set to go once more. And you have to imagine this defense saying, how do we stop this guy? He has run roughshod through him to this point in the third quarter. Coming to the line here to begin their next drive, the Seahawks offense. And, Charles, it feels like we're set up for a good second half here. Came out of the locker room, one-score game. Now the lead has already changed hands. Well, this offense, they've got an opportunity right now to take that lead right back.
Yeah, and it feels like you're going back and forth almost a little bit like a tennis match, right? And we're just, our heads just keep moving. Which side has it? Which side's going to score? How are they going to go out doing it? A little bit of a challenge for each side trying to match each other.
Straight ahead, Walker. He'll be hit down at the 33, 5 yards on the play.
That second down play call was not to pick up the first down. It was to accomplish what they did, to get them into a manageable third down, because they had incompletion on first down, so they were behind the sticks, so to speak. They needed to make up some ground, and they did.
3rd and 5. Now back to throw. That is caught, and he'll be taken down, but he does have first down yardage. Able to get what they need to keep the drive going with a 6-yard pickup on third down. Going old reliable there to the slot on third down.
And the slot position has become the bane of just about every defense's existence, because how do you cover? Do you go with a bigger guy to try and use size? Got to try to go with a quicker guy, and sometimes you even get out quick there. Very difficult to match up with that slot receiver. That's why they keep going back to him.
And he's had the hot hand. And good vision there as he's across midfield and down to the 45-yard line. 121 yards rushing for him now as his big night continues. He continues to have a big night here under the lights carrying the football.
And some guys prefer night games. For whatever reason, their bodies react a certain way. They love the spotlight. Maybe that's what it is. The best seats in the house, the ones where he's carrying the football for his offensive teammates. The worst seats, the 11 guys trying to tackle him on defense.
Another nice gain. That's now 30 yards between those last two plays.
We don't talk about it very often, but sometimes there's a dip in intensity when you start the second half, which can manifest itself in some sloppy tackling. And how about right there? He ran right through that weak tackle attempt.
They'll look to throw now on first down. He'll get this complete to Cooper Kupp. And he's going to get this down near the 20-yard line. 10 more there and another first down.
I love the drive they're working on here because they know they can take the lead with a touchdown. And so far on this drive, so good. They've moved the ball down the field with very little resistance defensively. But they better be prepared for some adjustments to come their way now.
On first down, he'll drop to throw. This is the tight end Fant. And he gets it inside the 10 to the 9. Back-to-back nice plays, 12 yards that time and a first down.
Just picking up yardage in bunches here these last few plays. They have moved right down the field, and just like that, they're going to be set up with a first and goal.
They'll look to throw. And he's got it. And he is in for the Seattle touchdown. Jackson Smith-Njigba. A 9-yard touchdown grab. And the Seahawks have retaken a third-quarter lead. So a very strong first drive in the second half, Charles, as they've turned that halftime deficit into a third-quarter lead.
And they were pretty purposeful there, weren't they? Measured in their approach. But, boy, they executed awfully well, moving the ball down the field.
Now Myers for the extra point. It's up and good to make it 21-17. So that drive takes him down the field in 8 plays. And it was capped off by a Jackson Smith-Njigba touchdown catch. And after the touchdown, here's Myers to boot it away. And a nice return sets him up pretty good here right at the 30-yard line. The Bears offense now gets set to head back onto the field. They had seized the lead there for a little bit with a starting drive in the third quarter, but a moment ago the touchdown that puts them back behind.
So their defense is under siege a little bit right now because they have not able to solve their opponents. So they've got to keep hammering away on offense and try and win this one in what appears to be a shootout.
This will be stopped about 2 yards shy of the marker. 8-yard gain, 2nd and 2. So from the 37, here's 2nd and 2. Off the bootleg, it's Williams. And this one nearly intercepted. Boy, that would have been a great time for their first pick. But instead, it's 3rd down.
Oh, man, that was close. The opportunity to change momentum, big play, right in his hands, unable to come down with it.
A sigh of relief, no doubt, on offense that fell harmlessly to the ground. On the handoff, this is Swift. And he will have a first down here at about the 40. A 3rd down gain of 3 yards, and that'll be enough.
I haven't met a football team yet that runs the ball successfully that doesn't talk about having an attitude to be a running football team, right? You got to be able to put your nose in there, smell where the first down sticks are, and get there.
To throw, Williams. He'll get this off to Swift. And to the 42-yard line here and brought down there. Only able to gain a couple there, and that's going to bring up 2nd down.
And that's a good job there by the corner. And we do talk about this a lot, that a lot of corners see their job as simply covering receivers. Tackling isn't everyone's thing. But in this case, he came up quickly and made a nice, sure tackle.
And that falls to the ground, incomplete. A nice job of bodying him up defensively, and now it brings up 3rd down.
As defensive coordinators around the league tell me all the time, that throw is not for every quarterback because you've really got to drive the ball downfield. It's going to be a tight window for him to fit that one into. In this case, unsuccessfully.
Throwing is Williams. Able to find the open man. That's complete. And he gets us to the other side of midfield across the 45 before going out. First down for the Bears, a gain of 15.
All right, let's just go ahead and walk through this one pretty easily, right? Blast off the line of scrimmage, get downfield to a certain point, usually around 8 to 10 yards, turn around and make sure the quarterback sees your numbers and set yourself up for the pass.
A well-executed curl route by Charles Davis. Under a minute to go in this third quarter as they come up 1st and 10. On 1st and 10, it's Swift. And he's dropped right at the 40. Gain of 3. Ball on the 40 now. Here's 2nd down and 7. They'll run the draw here with Swift. And they see right through that defensively as he'll be hit and taken down to the backfield. So they'll get a little extra time to come up with his 3rd down play as we've played 3 quarters. This is the National Football League on EA Sports. Back now in Seattle, Washington. It's Bears football, but they trail on the scoreboard as we get set to bring you the 4th quarter. Williams from the gun on 3rd down. Looking left side, he's got it, complete. And that'll wind up moving the chains again as the tackle's going to be made at the Seahawks' 29-yard line.
And here we are in the 4th quarter, partner, and watch them drive for what would be a go-ahead touchdown. And you and I both know this is where you need a quarterback who can keep his cool back there. Not just for himself, but to keep the rest of the team relaxed too.
To throw, it's Williams. A pass complete to Adunze. And inside the 20 before he's brought down. They get 10 more there, and I believe that'll be enough for another first down. It will.
And this has been a nice answer to the touchdown drive against them a few minutes ago because they've come out and reestablished the tempo. A nice throw there, and they're putting together a very strong drive as a response.
They'll fake the give. Now Williams. Now he'll dump it underneath to his running back. Complete. And the Bears are looking at first and goal as he's tackled all the way down at the 2-yard line.
Another catch for him there on this drive, Brandon, and it looks like they're going to utilize him out of the backfield any way they can. And that time they pick up a first down. So now on defense, do you assign a man to him and try and cover him before he gets going?
Only way to get the lead here, of course, with a touchdown. And that's what they're gunning for on first and goal. Here's Swift. Able to get a couple here, but won't get across the plane as they stop him right around the 1.
Good work there, holding them out on first down. And this is going to be a battle down here on the goal line. Can they hold their ground for 2, maybe even 3 more plays?
Second and goal from the 1. Swift again. And this time he'll get in. Touchdown Bears.
And this is a time of game where offensive lines can really dictate a team's fortunes. It's been a tough battle. They've been out there for a long time. But this was a question of who can wear down who. And that's excellent work to put a long drive together and finish it with a touchdown run to take the lead.
Now an important extra point here to stretch this lead to a field goal. He's got it, and this is indeed up to a 3-point lead. So that one a 13-play drive in total, and it ends with a 1-yard touchdown run. Now after the touchdown, here's Santos to kick this one away. And they'll start this drive just across the 30. Pretty nice work on the return. This offense headed back out, captained, of course, by their quarterback. And we'll take you through some of the highlights here. You'll notice he had a hand in a lot of them so far. He's got this offense rolling right now. Here's the Seattle offense ready to get this drive underway. And they will be looking to answer the touchdown their defense just surrendered. Still a good chunk of time remaining here in the fourth quarter and a chance to regain the lead in a tight one. And that's good for a pickup of 10 yards. And that'll leave them with a second and just a few inches left. The play-action fake. They'll look to throw. Man open. That's Marquez Valdez-Scantling. And taking it across midfield and just shy of the 40. 19 yards to pick up there. Move the chains. They were in zone defensively. Went with a crossing route. It's always interesting to watch that chess match.
Yeah, and I think safeties don't mind crossing routes against zone because eventually you're going to run into their territory. And that's when they lick their chops in order to get the big hit or a play on the ball.
Offensively, nice execution to find a hole, make the catch. And he'll take this one down to about the 40. Noah Sewell there to make that play defensively.
I think if we put together a job description for a middle linebacker, we would start with being able to hold down things in the middle of the line of scrimmage and be able to take on blockers. But how about the guys who can go sideline to sideline and make plays?
Love a guy that can do that. We saw a perfect example of it right there. Off the play fake, he'll look to throw. Throw out wide to Walker. And he gets it down to the 32. So they'll get 8 out of that completion. And that will bring up 3rd and 1. So they just need 1 yard here to pick up the first down. On third down, here's Walker. And he picks up the first before he's taken down at the 29. Give him 3 yards and a fresh set of downs.
That's a tremendous group effort there, because when you talk about offensive lines, the best ones, talk about guys that play in harmony, in sync, and getting things done, and they did that on that play.
Yeah, especially on 3rd and 1. Got to be in sync, and they were. Back to Walker on first down. And he'll get this one down to about the 27. Grady Jarrett with the tackle.
Yeah, things were pretty stacked up there in the middle of the line. A lot of bodies, not much space. I think ultimately he was fortunate to get anything out of that run.
Still 9 yards to go on second down from the 27. Open on the left side. This is Valdez-Scantling. He'll head out of bounds inside the 10. Mark him down at the 9. That puts him in excellent position, 1st and goal after a gain of 19.
I like watching the wide receiver screen because it's a real teamwork play. Because guess what? The guy catching the ball, he'll get all the credit. But how about the people have to block in front of him, either fellow receivers or offensive linemen? That makes that play a really nice timing play, and sometimes it can break big.
Only way to get the lead here, of course, with a touchdown. And that's what they're gunning for on 1st and goal. And they're going to get to him. A sack. Sacked back at the 9-yard line. Dayo Odengbo in there to drop him for a loss on the play.
And this dominant defensive performance continued on that play. This poor quarterback, he's not received the protection he needs and has had to pick himself up off the turf far too often.
Another shot from the 9 on 2nd and goal. Up the middle, here's Walker. He pushes forward for maybe 3 down to the 6-yard line.
I have to laugh a little bit because he actually handed it off. I thought with the 2 touchdown passes he's thrown in this one already, he'd go ahead and fling and try and get a 3rd one.
Yeah, now from this spot on 3rd down, I think he'd probably throw in here.
Yeah, I don't think there's any question about it. They won't even send in a running play here, I don't believe. I think they go ahead.
End zone caught. Touchdown, Seattle. Marquez Valdez-Scantling from 6 yards away. And the Seahawks answer back with a touchdown of their own to take a 4th quarter lead. Those are the types of plays in these moments they were hoping for from this young rookie, able to put him up here in the 4th quarter.
How about the kid? You just mentioned it, the 4th quarter. This is when you have to make those winning plays. That's what he just did. Doesn't ensure anything, but he certainly gave his team a heck of a chance, didn't he?
The extra point now coming from Myers. And that will make this a 4-point game. A 10-play drive that time. And it all culminates with a Seattle score. And after the touchdown, here's Myers to boot it away. And he brings us out past the 20 to the 24. The visitors' offense and Caleb Williams set to go to work once more. And he has been masterful so far in leading this offense. He's kept the mistakes to a minimum. He's been on point with his passes, and he's generally been one step ahead of this defense all game long. It's a short one here, complete to the tight end.
When you execute a drag or a crossing route really well and give them a chance to let it develop a little bit, you can gain some significant yardage hitting your tight end on that one.
In need of only about the length of the football here on 2nd down. They will run straight ahead with Swift. And he'll lose yardage. Brought down at the 32. He winds up giving a yard back there, and now it's 3rd and 2.
We all have habits. We can be somewhat predictable, and you know me pretty well on 2nd down and short. What I like to see?
Play action.
Yeah, without a doubt. I thought that was a great spot to call it. Instead, didn't go their way, did it?
No, defense sold out for the run. Worked out well. Off the play fake, it's Williams. And he's got his man in stride, complete. And he'll be taken down, but not before they work it across midfield. They convert on third with a gain of 22.
Did you see that route the way that I did? I thought he was trying to get deep.
Yeah, that
first.
wasn't the first option.
No, it came off of that guy, the deep guy, and came underneath on the drag, completed it very well.
So from Seahawk territory now, it's 1st and 10 at the 46. Here's a handoff to Swift. And here he'll be brought down a little shy of the 35 at the 36.
Now, that was an excellent run. And when you see that happen, that's when you're seeing guys doing their job and then some people doing a little bit more. Offensive linemen and tight ends, they're expected to block. But the wide receivers, all they want to do is catch passes. So when they block on a big-time running play and create extra space, you've kind of hit the jackpot there.
And he'll follow his blockers there all the way down to the 23-yard line. A gain there of 12 yards and a first down for the Bears.
We'll definitely see some open running lanes, and he's taking advantage of it right now, but that shouldn't be a surprise. Defense has the lead. They're playing for the pass first.
To the air, Williams. Firing quickly here, and that's complete. So give him 5 yards there on the pitch and catch, and it'll be 2nd down. This drive, it's been a good mix. 3 passing plays, 3 runs, hitting on all 3 of those passes, and the last one putting him in the red zone.
So wouldn't you think play action right here? Because you've got the ability and had the ability to run it and throw it. Go play action and take your shot at the end zone.
Quickly completed to the right flat, and they've got it inside the 10 at the 8.
That's the 3rd time on this drive that these two have connected with each other. They've got a real rapport going, and right now it's paying off with big chunks of yardage as shown by that last play.
4th quarter, down to the final 2 minutes, and we've got a 1-score game. So the Bears with the football here as we welcome you back. They come up on a 1st and goal with this game still hanging in the balance. On the option to give to Swift here. Trying to run inside, but nothing there. His carries tonight, they're getting up there, so maybe one of those every now and then is understandable.
I would agree with that. Understandable every now and then. Sometimes you come back and you fake it to him and go play action. But other times you say, okay, they got him on that one. We'll come back to him in another carry.
They'll look to throw. And this throw incomplete. Well, the defender all over him that time, but it's going to lead to 3rd down. 3rd and long coming up defensively. You pressure the quarterback or drape all over the passing lane?
Yes, that's exactly what you do. It's both because they're not mutually exclusive. They may have been at one time in football, but not anymore. You want to have that pressure. If you have a big-time pass rusher, send him after the quarterback, and then make sure you blanket the field.
He had a man open, but he missed him, and it's incomplete.
With that incompletion, reality is staring them right in the face. This entire game is down to the next snap.
Here we go. The noise deafening. 4th and goal. They'll go. Here's Williams. And it's incomplete. They cannot convert, and they turn it over. They can't hook up here on the 4th down pass attempt, and this 11-play drive is going to lead to nothing on the scoreboard. So a 3rd straight pass attempt after they ran it on 1st down. 3rd straight incompletion. Now they're forced to give the ball up.
They must have felt like they just couldn't get it done on the ground. You know, something in what they saw in the defense or how they felt about their offensive line, it just told them throw the football. And end up with 3 straight incompletions, turn the ball over on downs. Give a big, big check mark to the defense on that one.
So 2nd and 9, and you'd have to figure just about all 11 probably crashing the line here. He's going to get it again. Just looking to get forward and protect the ball. Now the Bears going to use the 2nd of their timeouts. And they'll be disappointed to have to burn one there after giving up the 1st down. The Seahawks in victory formation as they go ahead and take the knee. Now the Bears will use their third and final timeout as they'll talk things over prior to this upcoming second down play. And they take a knee. And they'll indeed take a knee.
Listen, anytime you take a knee to end a game, that means you've won it. So it doesn't matter whether it's home or on the road, but there's something a little extra special about doing it in front of your home crowd, isn't there?
And the home crowd applauding. They're happy with what they've seen. Chalk this one up in the left-hand column for a win.
Yeah, that's right. Head to the locker room, throw the wristbands in the crowd for the kids, your gloves, your towels. Get to share it with the home team.
Well, it took us until the final play, Charles, to officially decide a winner, although on that last play they were so backed up it would have taken a miracle, and they couldn't get that miracle done.
Well, I like how you stayed with it because we both knew that this had to go down to the last play, and neither side was going to exhale until that play concluded because we've seen the improbable before. A couple of laterals, maybe some poor defense on the back end. They might have gone all the way to the end zone. In this case, though, it didn't happen. Perhaps next time.
So that's a wrap for Charles Davis. I'm Brandon Gaudin, and this has been a presentation of the NFL on EA Sports. For more, check us out at easports.com. It's a win for the Seahawks here as we say so long from Seattle.